Hiya, I just wanted to do another update on my new Asolo mod by JOY. My last review, I mentioned that I had a bit of a problem with my tanks. Um, I thought they weren't sitting properly on the mod because the mod kept forgetting them and asking me, have I put a new tank on the device? And that's actually user error. Um, I was interchanging tanks that had a very small difference in ohms. So that was using a 0.25 ohm tank and then a zero point 0.3 ohm tank. Now, obviously, the different coils are not all bang on their settings. So, for example, the 3 ohm coil is actually a 0.31, nearly a 0.32. Now the device is picking up that it's a different tank or atomizer being used, and it would ask me, is this the same atomizer? And I was saying yes and carrying on, and that's when I seem to be getting those issues of trying to fire it and always having to um, answer, is it a new tank? That was just me being lazy. Every time I put a different tank on, if the mod asks me, is it a new atomizer, I just say yes. I fire it a few times just in variable wattage mode because the mod needs to learn like your vaping style. As soon as I've done that 3 or 4 times, then I'm able to just switch it into taste control, which is the um, burnt hit protection mode of this mod for stainless steel and Canthal coils. Well, I just fire it 3 or 4 times in variable wattage mode, then I can go into temperature control or taste control, and it works perfectly. And it stops asking me, is this a new atomizer? So something that I thought was a problem with my tank, or maybe the mod, is actually none of that. It's just me not using my mod correctly. So what I recommend is anytime you put a new tank in, if the mod asks you, is it a new atomizer? Don't be lazy. Just say yes. It will like zero the device, put it at your favorite wattage setting, vape it a few times, then go into TC mode, and that's job done. And then you won't have those issues. So I just like to get that out there. The other thing is that okay, like now, I've left this standing for about 4 minutes now without using it. What should happen is when I go to fire it, nothing should happen now. I'm going to see if that's the case. Okay, it did fire. Maybe I've not waited for a sufficient length of time. What I believe happens is that if you don't use the mod, I don't know for how long it is, but if you don't use your mod for a short while, when you go to fire, nothing happens. It's almost like a safety feature to stop you accidentally pushing or firing when you don't mean to. So the first time you try to fire, nothing happens. And then just try fire again, and then it's working. Um, on some older devices that I used to use, you could lock it so that it doesn't fire. Like I think 3 clicks, or I don't know, there was a certain amount of clicks you could do, and that would stop it firing until you change that. And this has got a similar system, but maybe it's like the start stop feature some cars have these days. You get the traffic lights with your foot on the brake and the car cuts out. And when you're ready to go again, you have to like tap the accelerator, then it starts up, and then you can go. So this mod employs that kind of um, safety in terms of if you don't use it for an extended period of time, you'll have to like pre-fire and then fire, and then it's good to go. Now, some people might find that a bit annoying. They want a mod that's just ready to go. So it's like my M80, or you just push fire and you go. But this mod doesn't give you that protection against dry hitting that the Asolo does. In here right now, I've got my V2 tank on here with the 0.3 ohm coil, and I'm vaping a 70-30 juice, which you might not think is very thick and syrupy, but using this tank on this mod in taste control mode, I found that it doesn't necessarily give me the full vape all the time, and what that means is that the coils are running dry, or it's not, the tank's not keeping up with my vape. Now, if I wasn't using this mod and I was just firing this with this juice in, and it wasn't replenishing the juice in the coil fast enough, I'd be getting an unsatisfactory vape. Could be hot, could be dry, could even taste burnt if I was doing it for too long a period. But using this mod, I'm comfortable that it will protect me from that. It gives me the best it can. So if it starts, when the TC mode is activated, the little droplet symbol starts flashing, and that's letting you know that it's not firing. Now, instead of being upset when that happens, I look at it like as a guardian angel. It's letting me know, dude, you need to just slow down a bit. And yeah, so it's a really, really good feature for using these high VG juicers and tanks, because it might not always be whipped appropriately. And yeah, the batteries on here, I'm really impressed with how long they last. I get a good 6-7 hours, really, even longer. Obviously, it's all dependent on your vaping style, what you're running. So if I'm always running at like 70-80 watts with my coils, that's a lot of power. But I think the device does use power efficiently, because I don't, yeah, my batteries are not always being changed. They do last a long time, it, and the battery can go really low and it still works satisfactorily. It's only really at the end of the life of the charge of your batteries that you start noticing a difference in the vape quality. So I've rambled on a bit. I didn't want to make the video so long, but basically I've been using this nearly a week now, and the more I'm using it, the more I'm starting to understand the device and how it works, and little things that might have got under my skin at the beginning, I now understand them better and I can live with them. And when you understand something, then you know how to work it so that it works in the best way for you. So yeah, still very, very pleased with this mod. I think it looks lovely. It feels nice in the hand. It feels solid. I've got hardly any rattle noise. Very, very, very slight one. But I mean, you're not going to be walking around going like this in your ear. It's not a tambourine. It's a mod. So, it's a well-made design, good size, and it works really well. So if you're looking for a mod, I think that you can't go wrong with this one. It can fire all the way up to 200, but that's probably a bit of an exaggeration. So let's say maybe 180. You could definitely get up to 180 if you need to. I personally have never even gone over 100. But and I've never used the temperature control feature for the nickel or titanium coils. So about that side of life, I'll leave that to someone else. But for a vapor, just using your normal stainless steel and Canthal coils or the ceramic ones, I really like this. And yeah, it's really good. I'll just give you a few fires with it. I know it's a good tank I've got on here, and it's a good VG ratio juice, but I'm sure you can see that it absolute bellows out the clouds, and the flavor's pretty awesome too. I'm looking at getting another tank soon. I'm quite keen on one I found called Vengeance, and if I buy it, I'll definitely do a review on it, and let you guys know what I think about that. But so far, using my Atlantis version 2 tanks and my Crown UL tank, I'm really enjoying vaping. I'm getting so much flavor and clouds and just ease of use from my devices, tanks and mods, that I'm one happy vapor. So, vape out, guys.